Greetings, what's up, and well met. I am Jacob, and this is D&D's Nuts.
Got it!
So today we're going to be making another map. A lovely viewer commented and said, I would love to see you make some sort of dungeon map. I'm on the channel where we are usually talking about a game called Dungeons and Dragons and building maps in a program called Dungeon Alchemist. It's probably a good idea to make a dungeon, so we're going to do that today. Ladies and gentlemen, cartographers and carrion crawlers, we are back within Dungeon Alchemist. Before we get going, I just wanted to hit a few key points of this dungeon that I wanted to achieve while making this. So, 1 session dungeon, 5 to 7 rooms, in the desert, inhabited by orcs or goblins. So we're going to try to pack all that into one map here, and then I'm going to upload that onto the Dungeon Alchemist workshop so you can take it, download it, and edit or change it any way you see fit. I'll also put it on my Patreon as is, so you can download that for free. I'll have links to all that down below. And let's get into it.
Do it.
So I'm going to start here by making a new map. I was thinking about just starting 50-50, just making it big from the get-go. And we'll do desert here, flat, no vegetation, water, lava, no. Room placement, we'll do water level, just keep it all simplistic and go. Alright. A blank slate. I'm thinking about starting this as if it's wedged into the side of a cliff face or, you know, a mountain or something like that. So I'm going to start by doing this. I'm going to raise a cave area on everything except one corner. Alright. There we go. Do a little test spot each type of water and see what color I like the most here. Kind of like in this Fey one here, so we're gonna stick with that. Okay. I'm not gonna go too crazy on the water in this little entrance area, but I want it to be playable, and then have stairs and maybe some kind of door just going directly into this cliff face here. And then we'll dress this up and make it look pretty. Alright, I feel like that's good enough for now. I got some of the stuff I want to use to add some texture and depth to the cliff face and such, and the stairs for reference. I don't know if I'm going to stick with those yet, but so far, enough to get the concept of where I want the entrance to be through. And now we got all this blank space to actually make the dungeon, so we're going to start carving some space out. Alright, so, second method. I can't get it to do what I want it to. I want this room to be essentially a triangle, if I can, this entrance room. So let's just carve our shape out here. Okay. Now I'm going to try to use the room carving tool within that, work on that as a, work from there. And anything that I can't get the room tool to do, I'm just going to do that way. Just carve out of the cave. Alright. So I did take some time just jotting out some notes and like a rough little outline of kind of what I wanted here to achieve with this dungeon. So I'm just going to try to put what I have on a sheet of notebook paper just down here and see how it turns out. But with the ease of Dungeon Alchemist, it is truly amazing sometimes just like how quick stuff goes from being an idea on a piece of spiral paper to something truly awesome. So let's see here. See if I can get it. Sick. Okay. So there's kind of a basic outline. I already know some edits I'm gonna have to make immediately here, so probably gonna Control Z that one. And let's do some editing. Oh no, I lost it. Damn. Alright, well. Here we go again. Well, yo, I'm struggling immensely making a triangle here, but I think we can just use this without the actual room feature and link it up okay. So here's the layout that I had in mind for this dungeon overall. And for our current residents of goblins and or orcs, I was thinking that maybe there was something they wanted to get to in this big room here. So this would be your treasure hoard, your boss battle room, whatever. So we'll make this one nice and fancy and cool, big enough for a large battle to take place, and then I was gonna make this like a cave-in or some kind of something's preventing the orcs or goblins from getting in there. So maybe they're trying to break that down, so maybe there's a bunch of pickaxes and loose rocks and they're trying to get this entryway clear to get in there. So that way we have some reasons not to just be like, well, we'll just walk right down that hallway right there into there. We'll actually make some barriers and other stuff for it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now, is take this, juice it up, add a cave in. We're gonna take some of these rocks that we already have staged and place them along the walls to add a little texture and also create that blockage. So let's start doing some texturing and whatnot, shall we? So basically what I'm doing here is just duplicating and moving some of these rocks with collisions off over here on the item, you know, HUD, I guess. So that way you can, by just rotating them, changing the elevation, and layering them, stacking them on top of each other like that, you can create really cool natural looking rock formations, things like that. So we're going to add a lot of these around the map, especially around that cave-in part I was talking to, that block on the main boss room or whatever that's going to end up being. So yeah, that's how I'm doing this, and that's kind of what I'm doing to achieve this effect. So even when you look from the top, that looks really natural. We'll put some more rubble around the parts of the missing walls and whatnot. And, yeah, we'll do that. But first, I'm realizing we should probably change these walls now. Just to really sell that aesthetic, so let's do that. And then we'll go more into the rock and roll. So I'm gonna go to some nice stone walls, something to match these ornamented stone walls. Like, for example, those would match well, these temple stone walls. Yeah, let's go with those. I think that'll help, and we're just gonna go ahead and change all of them in here. The whole damn dungeon. Alright, and honestly, the floors are not bad. That's pretty good already. We're gonna add a bunch of rubble and shit on top of it, so... let's see though. Broken flagstone's good as well. Maybe for some of the rooms we'll go with this. Broken flagstone. Yeah, okay. And let's find that. Find that one they have out here. Probably in the ruined. These ancient floor tiles, these are perfect, so... Go with... Man, I like both of those. So if there's anybody watching who's like, oh, that's terrible, go with the other one. The beauty of Dungeon Alchemist, if you use this program, like I said at the beginning, I'll have this on the workshop so you can just take it and you can change everything about it. It's awesome. I feel like that looks pretty good. And then we're gonna hit a quick save, because this is being a little bit choppy right now, as you guys can probably see. So let me do that. Be right back. We're saved. We're back. Okay, I'm gonna get this front room situated. I know you can make triangular rooms in this, so I'm gonna try again. Bear with me. This is probably gonna be really awful to watch, but, you know, we gotta try it. You gotta take some risks sometimes. Gotta risk it to get the biscuit. That's what we're gonna try to do. Okay. Alright. Holy hells. Holy heck. As you guys can clearly see, I'm a professional at this. Very, very good. Effective. Efficient. Zero efficiency wasted in my work. Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it?
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Alright. There we go, we're in business. Okay. Looking at this over again now that we have this front room, I think I'm going to try to add some elevation into this. So this is also going to be just as painstaking, but I think I'm going to take this room out here and redo it. Alright, not too bad. And there we go, we got an elevated entrance area now that we can drop down into the rest of dungeon. So we can add some stairs to these areas. And continue. Alright, cool. I like that more. So I'm going to change the walls and the floors to match the rest and send it. Alright, well, let's actually start making the map look good now. So, start with the entrance up front. And I know we have like a futuristic or current modern looking railing in the middle of this one, but it looks too good not to use overall. And honestly, like, once you're actually in play, have this in Foundry, Roll20, something like that, I doubt, you know, that'll be as clear as it is in Dungeon Alchemist here. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of checking out my options for dressing up this entryway here. There's a lot of different sculptures and statues and such, and Dungeon Alchemist just this week had a pretty big update called Fun with Objects, and they added a lot of new stuff even. I haven't delved too far into the update yet. There's these new buttons over here on the right that you can add levels to, and it'll export each level as a different map, which is really awesome. But I haven't really delved into it yet, so, but I plan to. But yeah, there's a lot of new objects that they've added, including these busts here, so we might end up using one of these. Once I have all of them staged and we see what looks the best, then we'll roll with that one. And there's also linked into Dungeon Alchemist the whole community workshop, so a lot of these with the download cloud have been uploaded to that workshop by other users of Dungeon Alchemist, and you can just go in there and browse and look up whatever you want, and it's all there to download and use. It's a really awesome community. Discord's always popping too. Love that place. There's always good tips to be found. Nice assets, just looking at other people's work and getting inspired and, you know, seeing how people use the program. So, highly recommend checking that out if you're a user of Dungeon Alchemist. Kind of liking these giant snake head statues though, especially because we have one that's on its side here, and I think that'll look cool in the water. So, let's get back to dressing it up all nice like here. Alright. See, basically all I'm doing is rotating and holding shift on these rocks and changing each one just as I'm placing them. You can change the elevation and change the rotation, hold shift, and easily place multiple. So yeah, makes it really easy to add a lot of depth and texture to these, otherwise just like blank walls here, and they layer on top of each other really nicely, and there's a lot of different selections of rocks for different terrains, so you're kind of always able to do this, even inside like we did earlier, and then, yeah. So I feel like we just need a little plant life out here, maybe a little more texturing, and we're good. So I'm gonna start adding some of that in. Test some of these out. Okay, so that's like a cracked. That might look good. Yeah, I can layer that in along the cliff walls here, so I'll do that. Whoa, made him mad there. Whoops. Yeah, this is looking a lot better now that we got some rock layers here. We got some foliage. Let's look from the top. Got a lot more depth. A lot more going on. Alright. Still need a little bit more. I really appreciate you checking out this video. Me making this whole map just came from someone commenting that they'd like to see something, so I find that really cool. And if anybody else would like to, you know, see anything, see me make anything, I'd be happy to take a crack at it. So just let me know in the comments below. And do the whole YouTube thing, you know, give it a like if you like the video and all that. Alright, let's find us a door. We need a big ass gate. XL, there we go. Or, let's see, broken arch, that could be pretty cool. Skeletal arch, that's pretty metal. Skeletal door, even more metal. Oh, here we go. Back to this. This is going to be painful, but I'll try to line those up. Oh, mother. Alright, no problem. All good. Easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
I noticed something while I was doing that as well. I want to texture some of these, so like around the rocks that we embedded in here. I'm gonna go through and add more of that dark orange texture and turn the brush strength up a little bit. You'll see it'll help blend that in a lot, so it won't look so, I guess, like jarring there. Even just doing light touches like that. Much better. Alright. Where were we? So, I think the entry is done. I think it's time to move on to inside here. And we'll start with the door. Let's find some pile of stones to represent some more of this rubble that we have. And we'll put some of those about. Yeah, that looks better. Cool. And while we're in the pile section, we got some piles of dirt. We'll add those to a few places, which will help also blend the edge of the rocks kind of more into the water there. Some of that. And then we'll take some of this stuff. We'll also put those around that, each tree, and that will help a lot. I know you play from top down. It can't always be seen, but you know. Alright, cool. Back to it. So parts like this where the rock is going through the wall, I'm just gonna work with that. I'm gonna delete like these wall segments, for example, here, and then we'll look up some half walls, and yeah, there's another reason I chose this wall type to work with, is because I know they have broken wall variants of it, so you can do stuff like that. And then going back to our piles of dirt, we'll go in there, add that around the edge of the rocks like that. Sometimes when you're working with these big rocks too, it gets really hard to actually click on what you just placed around them, so sometimes you just gotta make multiple and kind of do it one at a time with these, or just like once you place it, that's kind of where it is. Yeah, but you can see already how much that helps kind of break up that harsh edge there. So when you're looking in from the top, boom, that looks much better. Pretty cool. So that's kind of what we're going to do around the entirety of the map, just whenever there's a break in the wall or something like that. And then to represent the wall that is missing, we can embed some of these into that, and you'll see those also peer out through the dirt. Alright, cool. So now I'm just going to go about adding stairs and kind of linking this entryway into the rest of the complex and make it look good. Jarvis, hit fast forward, would you? So what I'm doing here is just going back into the raised cave area and your terrain options on the left side here. And I'm just filling in all the spots around the walls, just to kind of give it a more finalized view from the top down, mainly for yourself as the game master. If you're using this in a program like a virtual tabletop, like Foundry or Roll20, whatever. Because when you're in that and you have the walls set, your players won't see anything outside of, you know, these actual set walls here, down here, these walls. They won't see all this stuff above because that just blocks vision. So it's more just for your own. It just looks easier to tell what's what when you're looking from this and it's all, you know, even like that. Versus this right here. This is like an unfinished version. This is, you know, what I'm trying to fix right here by doing the raised cave area thing. So we'll just flatten that out to match the rest. It won't mess up our walls. It will, however, mess up wherever we deleted our walls to put up rock, you know, breaks like that. Like if we did it right here, it would screw that up. So just be mindful of that when you're doing it, but other than that, it helps a lot in my opinion. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Alright, yeah, so as you can see from the top-down view, like we're looking at here, it just looks much more uniform, filled in, easy to see what's going on from the top down, with the cave ceiling brought to the max where you don't have things. So, now we just go back in and start filling in the dungeon. It's basically the hallways are pretty much good. We'll add more like destroyed walls like that over there in this room as we go about our business, but now we just kind of make it feel believable, inhabited, previously inhabited, everything like that. So, I'll just shut up and start dungeoning. So what I'm doing in here is just kind of deleting the floor in some sections so we can add some water, and then I removed a portion of the cave ceiling to get some light in here. So that way we can actually justify adding some greenery in here so it's not just drab and dead and bland throughout the whole dungeon. This way, I don't know, there's a little bit more of a breakup in the monotony of what it could be, so yeah. That's what I'm doing here. I'm going to dress it up really nice, layer a lot of this foliage on here. Try to hide the edges that are created along the edge of the room that we had to remove to allow this, so. Yeah, and then again, I'm using those piles of dirt just to try to layer that up and break that, the edges up a little bit more, but also give us something to embed the flora in so it actually looks like it's growing out of something other than the stone floor. So that's what we're doing. Alright, I gotta find a door for this room or an archway or something. Figured we'd do a little waffling right now. About, I don't know, whatever. Also got some walls I still gotta change, so yeah, okay, got some stuff to hit, but also just trying to think of what this might have been before it was abandoned and then inhabited by orcs or forcibly taken by orcs or whatever may have happened in this place. Like maybe an old guild hall or something, because so what I added here is a kitchen. What I added here is some place of, a place of worship that might have had a skylight or something that is now overgrown with some stuff. And yeah, so maybe next we got an old library, an armory. Gotta have an armory. Yeah, alchemy lab, something like that. We still got a few empty rooms to work on, so we'll try those. Decent little archway there. That'll work. It's cool. So yeah, this is so far maybe a storage room. And then we got this, which maybe we'll make the library. So, do that. Our kitchen's good. I'm gonna change some of the walls here before I forget. Be that broken temple wall. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then that will allow for us to add broken walls without having those columns be placed. Like, see if I change wall here. Boom. And if we were to do that on a wall that's not this one, like, it would add, see those columns on each side of the wall. That's what we want to not have happen. It's changing that whole one because it's a curved wall. It looks like it's just one part, but yeah, so for here, like, for example, for play-wise, it probably wouldn't be too much of a problem to be able to see into the library from the storeroom. So we'll take some of these, and boom. Let's see, try to make it look like a natural progression of damage here. Move back up on this side, and then, yeah. A lot of what I try to do when I'm adding this kind of stuff is just get rid of the harsh edges. Anything that doesn't look like too natural. And then I try to check like this because that's how you're realistically going to be playing it, is like that. So yeah, and then honestly in this case I'm probably going to link both of these rooms just through doing something like that. So that adds the columns. Don't want the columns. Yeah, I guess it's not too bad. Now that I'm looking at this, there's not really a reason for this wall to exist here, so what I'm going to do is place new walls, do the broken temple walls, do that. That's going to delete a lot of that. Okay, fine. We'll work around that. So here's where we're gonna go. I have all of my stage stuff in the main entryway here. I'm gonna go grab one of these and use these. And because we chose to use these broken walls, we have these assets to use seamlessly. Yeah, cool. And then we can push this back here and just expand this room a little bit, which increases the overall playability of this area within your game. Makes it a little more usable, I suppose. And then I still don't like how jarring some of these edges are here, so yeah, I'm just gonna move that back and it should be alright. And this looks like a decent armory. Maybe we'll make that like a metal gate that you can see through with most of the good loot in there, kind of thing. So give your rogues a chance to shine. Who am I kidding? Rogues are always shining. Give your barbarian a chance to shine. Have him just break that thing down with a warhammer instead. Alright, let's see. Where are we gonna hit next? Make the library, shall we? Alright, send it. Alright, we got a library done. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely sells the old library. Still some books, but I figured the orcs would have taken quite a few of them and started burning them. Let's finish this little storeroom here. And here we are dressing up this old, what might have been, you know, the bunk room, something like that. The orcs have now made it their main encampment, so we're going to take this old bathtub and fill it with meat. Meat is back on the menu, boys.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
Alright, looking around, we have our main orc encampment area. We've got our entryway, which I now cleared of all the references because I've pretty much used up what I'm going to use up from that. We've got our area of worship, we've got our library, storeroom. We've got the remnants of the kitchen. Seems rather low. Okay, we gotta make the armory, we gotta make the big boss room, and then we gotta make the entryway. So let's tackle the armory.
This ain't the armory.
Alright, that's the armory done. Got some, not too much stuff, but some left behind tools and whatever, and then in the locked compartment, we got an armor set, crossbow, sword, whatever you need in there. There's a little chance to hand out some loot, given they can get in there. So just got the entryway and then the big room at the back. So I'm gonna take care of the entryway first. Don't really have any plans for this. I just want to make it a good open area that's able to be fought in, and I'll probably add more breakthroughs in the wall. But other than that, I'm not sure. So let's see what happens. Alright, feeling pretty good about the entryway. Got some open tombs and whatnot. Little pit in the middle to break it up, but pretty much just open and big enough for whatever kind of encounter should need to take place in there, with access to outside as well. So that's cool. We go down here, we're all good there. So I believe the last room left to tackle is the boss room. Bum bum bum. Alright, let's go. Okay, so we got our cave in here blocking the main boss area. We got some mining equipment down here. So what I'm gonna do now is, before we actually make the boss room, I'm gonna go back here into the Orcish encampment, Goblin Camp, whatever it is. We have some explosives here. I'm gonna put a crate of explosives near maybe like, I don't know, what would be the boss tent or something. Just maybe a harder area to get to, so like maybe back here, perfect. We'll add a couple crates of explosives. And say you end up using this and you're like, I just don't want my characters to find explosives, just say it's a box of red candles. There we go, perfect. Alright, back to this boss room. I think what I want to do is incorporate water back into it like we have out here in the main area. So I'm going to try to do that. There we go. Alright, so I think with this final little room here, I wanted to incorporate the water stuff, but I feel like at this point, more of just like it's just unnecessary. So we're gonna go ahead and fill those back in. Which with Dungeon Alchemist is no problem. We'll have to replace some of the webbing and whatnot, but I was only placing them there in the first place because of the little water pits. So now we can kind of make more natural looking barriers and things and such. So we're going to go back in and do that. But overall, pretty dang good. And spiders have made this area their own. And then we have some black light candles essentially making that look like they have their own little tunnel system in here. And they don't give a dang about treasure, but it does make a nice area for their another one of their little nests. So, yep. All right, let's juice this up a bit, and then I think we'll call it. It's pretty much done. All right, send it. Alright, we're gonna find us a nice trophy or treasure to put on this pedestal here, and I think we're good. I think the map will be done after that. We'll take a little glance over and see what we like, see what we don't like after this. If you have made it this far, you know, God's bless you, the old and the new. I hope this has been enjoyable or helpful or whatever. Just help you pass time while you're prepping. I know that's always really helpful, so yeah. Either way, thank you for checking this out. I do not know. Okay, here we go. Let's get some cool looking statue or like this bookend. Let's supersize this thing and see what that looks like. Pretty sick to me. Happens to fit perfectly right there. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna use one of these new lights. I think it's abstract lights they're called, something like abstract lights, yeah. So these you can just add light sources without having to, you know, change the size of a lantern or something like that, and then hide it within the leg of this thing. We can just do this, change it to whatever kind of light we want. Maybe like a spooky kind of pallid, yeah, like that. Okay, and hide the light source. So we just have the light. It kind of looks like there's this weird, spooky, haunted thing emanating from that statue. We got treasure here, and you know what? Let's sparkle this treasure up a little bit for our adventurers, should they make it this far. We'll make this gem glow in here. That should look pretty cool. And that'll glow against those little walls there, make that stand out more, so alright. Let's start outside, shall we? We'll do a little walkthrough, see how this plays. So here we are back out front. The nice sunlight of Dungeon Alchemist. And then let's head inside, do a token walkthrough. Loading, processing. Technical difficulties standing by. Alright, and we're back. Dungeon Alchemist crashed, but we're good. I remade the stuff I lost. Wasn't too much, but anyways, try it again. Token vision. Frozen. Not a good look. Still frozen. Ah. Okay, I confirmed it's not there when we're not in token vision, so we'll go ahead and ignore that. I don't know what that is. Anyways, yeah, here we go. So also when I redid it, I added some candelabras. What in tarnation? All right. You know what? Token vision be damned for now. God. All right, and we're back. So we're not doing that bird's eye view walkthrough. So going through, we added some rusted candelabras, you know, whatever, sconces that we did not light. So this place would have had lighting that is not currently being used. The orcs put these things up wherever they wanted lights, and then that's about it. But yeah, so you'll see those have been added throughout the dungeon. But got the storeroom, library, kitchen, room of worship, the entryway. We got the orcish camp here, and then we got the spider nest, vault, boss room thing. So there we have it. There's the map, which I'm calling the one session dungeon as of right now. And yep. All right. Well, there we have it. There's the one session dungeon in Dungeon Alchemist, all complete there. I'm going to upload this to the Steam Workshop on Dungeon Alchemist, so you can go ahead and grab it from there if you have Dungeon Alchemist and use it. Otherwise, I'm going to put it on my Patreon for free, so if you want that and you want to use this map for some kind of session or just to check it out, you can download it on there. I'll have all the links down below. And with that, I am Jacob. This has been D&D's Nuts. Thank you for joining us.